Hi Pat, here's our images of your swing from our lesson as promised. Let's look at our two categories really had to do with, I think we got about three in your case. So let me go through them real quick here. I want to make sure that that lower body has a stable point when the club comes back on the backswing so we don't, as we say, sway off the ball to the right. Let's just let your swing roll here. See how that right leg goes past that point? Okay, so that was segment one. You did a better job of that later. This is your first swing that I took, so I like to get the first swing because it's really what your instincts and habits are. Second item on the checklist was to let you know that you could trust the wrist cock to allow the club to have a nice soft bend to it there. Too much tension in the wrist joint here, and you sufficiently described it as you felt like you were in more control when you had a shorter, maybe a little more defensive length of your swing to hit the ball straight, since you're pretty much self-taught, haven't had much instruction other than some tips from your buddies. So you may do with shorter backswing to hit it straighter. Okay. That's a look there. So we had body motion, right leg motion, and the top of the swing position there. From the back here, as was the case with Carrie and many students, we want to get that club moving around your body on a good orbit. Here's your swing, golf swing circle, as I described from the rear view. The circle's on a tilt, also known as a swing plane. So we want to I'd like to get that club swinging a little bit more on that line on the backswing. So we're going to try to keep that club lower on the ground, let it move more to the inward arc, a little closer here to that line. Not critical at this point in your development, but worth noting. And then the club face opening up and closing was to fix that shot going to the right. So if you see your club face opens up a little bit here compared to where you started, as it should. So when we hit that shot to the right, the question becomes, this is you getting that club. See, your wrists are much better, much more bend in your wrist joints there. It looks pretty doggone good, doesn't it? And from the back view, here's our other little culprit where that foot got off to the right side of the foot. Now this is, now you can see how the club face is open, open, open. So we talked about go ahead and letting that club close on the way back to the ball. I actually like the fact that this club is coming a little bit underneath that line. It means you're coming to the inside. It looks like it was on the toe a little bit, but pretty good position there. Okay. Kind of referring to something we talked about later on in this segment, which was hitting behind the ball. See how that back foot's kind of staying on the ground a little long. So we haven't transferred that weight to the forward foot quite as early as we could. That'll be less of an issue for when the ball's on a tee than when it's on the ground. There's your kind of a short, abbreviated finish. Told you to let the club swing around you. Okay, so let the wrists relax at the top, brace that right leg, and get off that right foot early to transfer for those iron shots. Let's have a look at this. So this is where we talked about, again, we lost the leg brace there. Move over that front leg, get off that back foot, and make that divot in front of the ball. See where your divot was just a little bit behind there? So we got to time it. The down movement and the forward movement need to be have good timing. It's a little better finish there. I thought you made some really good progress. There's your little fat shot. Back, weight's back on the right foot, just a little too long. But again, at your stage of development, we want to keep the information flow to a minimum. You did good. Keep me posted on your progress, okay? Enjoyed it.